Welcome to your currency recap for July 31st, 2023. Corey here with you. I'm going to be doing the Monday recaps, and then Ankit will be doing the Wednesday recaps. We're going to switch spots a little bit, so get used to me on Mondays. Now, let's jump into what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the broader markets, commodities, different things that are moving, any meaningful news and such. Then we'll break it down individually, talk about the currency baskets, what's moving, things like Aussie and CAD and Kiwi actually having a nice pop to the upside. We'll touch on that more, and then we'll talk about setups, some potential things to trade. Let's get to it. Now, if we look at velocity scores, some movement that's taking place here. We had Aussie and Kiwi as kind of laggards, and over the last little while, they are moving on up. CAD has been an outperformer in comparison, and Aussie and Kiwi now a nice pop to the upside. US dollar has rallied sharply over the past week or two, but the longer term chart still seems troubled. So we'll talk more about that. Crypto markets, a little heavy, not a lot going on there. So as we look at the markets and the moves, today it was more of a commodity day where oil was up 1.5%, and it was the commodity currencies, CAD, Aussie, Kiwi, that were up the strongest, up about 1%. Japanese yen was down 1% on the flip side, so it was a risk-on day, certainly. As we look at the top-down approach, do we expect that to continue? Well, you've got an RBA meeting out tonight. So if we're looking in currency land, they seem to be buying the Aussie, which was the strongest currency leading up to. It could be a buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know. Could be traders getting wind of what's going to happen and really feeling strongly that the Royal Bank of Australia is going to come out with a hawkish tone and more rate hikes, et cetera, et cetera. There seem to be jumping the gun ahead of that news. So we're seeing that movement into commodities. And like we said, oil, another commodity, really strong performance. Oil is now making new highs in, well, I guess it depends on which oil you're looking at. There's crude and there's Brent crude, there's light sweet crude and so forth, but new highs, and that's important. That could lead to further buying. We know that the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at new multi-decade lows, meaning the U.S. government has to step in and start buying oil, and it's getting away from them. This is not a good situation for oil prices to stay down, and for us as consumers. If you're a consumer of oil, this does not look great, and I would suspect that oil prices are going to stay pretty heavily bid. Maybe the U.S. is tapping into that. Maybe the markets realize that, and that's why they're rallying. There could be a lot of reasons, but the reasoning usually comes later. Right now, the simple supply and demand dynamic is there's more demand for oil. It is making new highs. Crypto markets, like we said, pretty heavy, down 1% plus on the day. If we dig down, though, everything was weak except for Bitcoin Cash. For whatever reason, it had a sharp spike upward, but the entire crypto space down on the day and down recently, down over the past couple of weeks. So as equities and risk on takes effect, that's not really great for crypto. I would say crypto is one of those defensive ideas. It's something you hide out in. It's something where you say, I'm worried about the government, I'm worried about money printing, I'm worried about the economy. Those would all be arguments more for the crypto space. So as the markets move higher, not the best idea to be hiding out in crypto as a general rule. Now, if we look at the S&P, It continues to march higher. A little bit of caution though, because as we're now making new highs, the indicator has started to diverge with lower highs. This is the RSI. This is what we call a bearish divergence. Two roads diverge. The indicator is saying, hey, we don't have the same momentum. The same upside pressure is waning. So does it lead to a big crash? No, but it certainly suggests that more consolidation or even a correction is more likely than not. Now, as we look at the rest of this week, we have RBA out tonight. And as expected, they will raise rates. I think that's a pretty good bet that they're going to raise by 25 basis points. The big question is, what do they start to tell you about the future? And are they going to point towards more rate hikes? Again, the Aussie is rallying in anticipation of this. We've got the Bank of England out later in the week. That's Thursday morning, bright and early. And then we've got non-farm payrolls here in the US on Friday. So it's really a busy week where there's quite a bit of movement. If you're trading Aussie tonight, if you're trading pound midweek, and if you're trading US dollar at the end of the week, there are some opportunities. Now, as far as possible trades are concerned, here is a 4-hour chart of the Kiwi, and the good news is you started to kind of break higher. The bad news is you still have a lot of overhead supply, dead bodies, people that bought in the past that may want their money back. So if you're inclined to buy the Aussie and the Kiwi, let me be the first to suggest at least buying the dip. I think that's what makes sense. Don't chase the strength. Instead, buy the dip on the next wave higher. Look at the Aussie on a 1-year chart. Okay, it's consolidating. It's resting. This is more of the time to buy it, not really to chase too much momentum. And it wouldn't surprise me if maybe the Aussie even pulls back a little bit on the RBA news. Again, kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news, and then there's a buying opportunity a little lower, maybe a Bollinger Band setup or something along those lines. So RBA meeting is out tonight, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember to continue to play that relative strength, relative weakness game, proper position sizing, and as always, we'll have plenty of videos coming out with different ideas and setups and things to discuss. So hope you enjoyed today's currency recap, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.